Oh, there it is.
Now we're live. Hey, it's
Oh,
Brett Dier, Michael Cordero on Jane the Virgin. Glad to see you're kind of safe and sound sitting there at home and, no bullet wounds or anything. Because the last episode, I really tripped a lot of people out. Did you and Jenny discuss at all what was going to happen, or did you get the script and that's when you first found out?
Um, well, yeah, Jenny never really tells you anything, which is insane. But I get it. I mean, I get it. But anyway, yeah, no, she told me I think the day before the table read, she's like, just so you know, you're getting shot. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then at the table read, I mean, it's weird reading it all because I tried to save it for the table read so I could read it for the first time ever, like with everyone. And it's weird because I haven't played a character this long before. It's been like 2.5 years of playing this character, and when he got shot, I felt like sad and like upset, like as me, and it's weird because It's just a weird, trippy thing. I feel like me and Michael are two different people. It's almost like I'm schizophrenic. Thanks to Benny.
Yeah, thanks, Jenny. Well, I mean, a lot of people felt the way you did because there's a lot of, I guess, what they call hashtag Team Michael fans out there.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows? Hopefully, maybe Jenny will like write in Melisandre from Game of Thrones and like resurrect you if you truly are.
that'd be
Um,
sweet.
God, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
That's something Jenny could do, and she could pull off pretty well.
I'll pitch it some stuff. I'll pitch her stuff.
Well, let's talk about, I guess, how, let's go back 2 years before you got shot. And how did you actually end up on Jane the Virgin? I know you had done something with Jenny before on your guest star on her show, other CW show.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess start on that. I played some sick kid dying in the hospital, so she liked me off that, and I guess kind of remembered me when I got the audition for the pilot, and I shot it in Arizona. Me and my girlfriend, we shot it together, and yeah, I made this tape for her, and I sent it back, and they liked me, so I had to go through this whole massive process, which is like super nerve-wracking because I don't know. I'm awkward just in general as a person. So like having to go in a room with like 40 executives from the CW, and it's like a massive stage. This is the test. They call it a testing process. So they test you. It's terrifying. But anyway, so you walk in this room and there was like chairs like going like this. Like it was in a theater, so the floor was slanted, I guess. Anyway, there's just people sitting there. They didn't say anything to you. You walk in this room, it's silent, and then they say, "Okay, start." And I had to do the scene, and Gina was there, and I'd never met her, and so I had to like propose to this person and all this kind of stuff. It was pretty terrifying. So and then after that, they tell you to go wait in the hall with all the other dudes that are going out for your role. So I just, you just sit there, and then they call you again, and they're like, "Okay, can we see you again?" And I'm like, "All right," and then you do it again, and it's like this crazy process, and it's I always get the runs before these, so I was running to the bathroom, in between waiting around. Probably too much information, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's all part of an actor's life there. I'm sure.
Exactly.
I'm sure everybody gets the runs. I'm sure Gina's had the runs a few times
I'm
going
sure she
back and forth.
has. Depends. Very, very good brand.
Yeah, just really clunky.
Yeah. That's why you got to wear baggy pants so people can't tell.
And it seemed, I mean, it worked out. Obviously, Jenny liked the way you died in her other show and potentially here, so she
Yeah.
signed you on for Jane. How has the show itself? Because I know, I mean, you've done film before, you've done other television shows before. How has this one different, and how has it kind of changed your I don't want to say your life too much, but your
Yeah.
professional career?
Yeah, it's definitely changed my professional career. Well, just because I mean the show's super successful, and I haven't been on a part of something this successful. Also, I've been doing it longer than I've ever done anything. So um, it was crazy. Like going to the Golden Globes, that's something that I never thought I'd do until I was like old, like 50 or something, hopefully. And then, but so doing that was also sketchy because then you see all these people you look up to, and you're like, wait, what? Why am I here? Like, holy crap! So it's made me experience a lot. I learned a lot as an actor. Like I'm the kind of person that I don't just show up to work just to get it done. Like I use every day I want to learn acting. Like I want to be the best I can be. And I learn so much by doing it repetitively. And so it's given me the opportunity to do that for the last 2.5 years, where I just try to learn every day and learn new things. And I learned a lot about acting and being present in a scene, and, also being giving for the other person when the camera's on them. Like all these things are super important. And yeah, whatever happens next, I'm going to bring all the stuff I learned from Jane the Virgin to the next thing. And that's all about being an actor, is to keep learning and never stop learning. As soon as you stop learning, you should quit, because you obviously don't care about it anymore. So yeah,
That's good advice.
yeah,
Good advice there. Well, I mean, and you actually had a lot to learn with on Jane. The great thing, I was talking to your co-star Yael Grublas yesterday, and the great thing about the show is that there's no the whole ensemble has a really deep storyline for each person there. We know the title character is Gina, of course, Jane the Virgin,
yeah,
her title character, but everybody else has so much going on. You in particular, in the last 2 seasons, I mean, you were engaged, and then your fiance was artificially inseminated, and then didn't like that, so you guys broke off your engagement, and then she kind of fell for the guy who's was the artificial guy, I guess,
yeah,
because
yeah.
they weren't the father. Yeah, so fell for that guy, and then you what happened, and then after that you get back together with her, kind of, and
Yeah,
then mess up, and because you beat up Raphael, or punched him, not beat him up, and
yeah.
hurt poor Mateo in the process.
I know.
And
Yeah.
I know, it's scrapped glass flying all over the place. And then your one of your partners that you kind of had a fling with,
Yeah.
you let her go. Your parents come, they don't approve of Jane. You say, screw you guys, I'm gonna do it anyway. You guys have a wedding, you get shot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much that your character's gone through.
No kidding.
Is it rewarding, though, as an actor, to have that much, I guess, trust placed on you, or is it nerve-wracking as all heck?
I mean, it's pretty nerve-wracking, I guess, sometimes, but it's really fun playing the arc, because if you look at Michael from last season and then compare him to now, like he's learned so much about, ego, and about, just being, not selfish type thing. It's not even his kid. Mateo's not his kid, but he's got to accept it. And like, he's just growing all the time, and it could go either way. It could either make him run away from Jane and like hate his life, or he can go the other way. And Michael's the kind of guy to, always try and find love, because he's all about love. And honestly, at the beginning, it was hard for me to play love. I'm like, how do you play love? Like, what do you do with that? Like, how do you look at someone and love them just in your eyes? Like, how do you do that? That was really hard for me to figure out. But so that was the nerve-wracking part, but I think I understand how to do it now. And also playing all the loss that he's done, losing his partner and all this kind of stuff. It's just, it's insanity. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to play, for sure, but it's fun.
Is there anybody that you may have, I guess, made Michael kind of like, or anybody that personally that you base Michael off of? Because with Michael, it's you do have more of the lovable guy, but and you could have played that pretty extreme and just made him fluffy, and everybody would want Team Raphael versus Team Michael, but everybody seems to be, even your cast seems to be, a lot of them, on Michael's side. Is there anybody you based it off of, or where did you get the inspiration for Michael, or is it just something you just kind of processed on your own?
I did a lot of thinking. When I first got the role, I made a little map on a piece of paper, and obviously all I had was the pilot. Like, Jenny didn't tell me anything, so I just had to use my imagination at that point. That's the thing about being on a TV show. It's not like a movie where you get the whole entire arc and you're just like, okay, I get it, cool. Like with the pilot, you have to use your imagination, or else it's just that's all you have. So I tried to, based off the pilot, I figured that he was kind of, he said he was a blue collar guy, he works hard, and he's in love with this girl, but he's got a dark side, and that was the stealing of the cars when he was a kid. So I was like, well, I didn't even know the dark side. I didn't know what it was. It could have been like he killed 8 people 3 days ago. Like, so it was weird because like I couldn't play too much.
Pretty dark.
Yeah, I couldn't play too much of the dark side. So I had to find moments of like the shift. It was pretty much just imagination at that point. And I really wanted to get the love thing across, like to love somebody. That was the most important. And I have a girlfriend who I love a lot. So I took from that and put it into the show also, like to look at someone with love. And it was more so like, I like to meditate too. I think meditation is super important for acting and just for life. So I meditated, and I don't know. I went through a whole bunch of stuff. It's because it's been 2.5 years. So it's like so much stuff I've done and different things. Like sometimes when I get emotional in the show, how do I get there? Is like I kind of shut my eyes and I try not to use my imagination with that because I want to make it personal to the character. So I always picture someone else in the world at this point or even yesterday has gone through something like this. So I try and channel that and do as best as I can to represent that, I guess. Because, you know, someone got married the day I was getting married, I'm sure. So thinking, like, having that thought in your mind of like, okay, someone's getting married right now. I got to do this justice. Like someone right now is madly in love with somebody and they're getting married. I want to do this justice. So I kind of like channel that through whatever. I don't know. That's
it seemed to work. I mean, you know, with the overwhelming the reaction just on Twitter alone while watching the show, and you see all the fans thrown in, and once that, you know, that scene at the end happened, I mean, everybody was already, it seemed, crying and madly in love with you during the vows when you went into looked at Abuela and then went into Spanish, and then carry that over to, you know, 10 minutes later and you're going out for ice, doing you've been in a horror film, you should know you do not leave.
No kidding.
And say I'll be back, and then you just don't come back.
I know. And by the way, the Spanish was incredibly hard to learn because the only word I knew was hola. And so, I mean, learning that, I literally repeated it in my head every day. And I got Jaime to record it on a WhatsApp message. And I pressed play and just listened to how the pronunciation is. And honestly, I think I'll remember that paragraph for the rest of my life because it's ingrained in my mind. And sometimes I find myself walking down the street and it's just repeating in my head because I have like OCD to begin with. So I'll never forget that phrase. It was really hard to learn, but I mean, it was awesome.
And speaking of Jaime, I mean, the great Jaime Camille, who plays Rogelio on there. You guys are probably the two guys who bring a lot of the comedy to the show itself. And I know you had studied improv before, you know, way back when. And having that kind of audience reaction in improv, and then going to an hour-long comedy where you're supposed to be some of the comic relief, and not having any kind of reaction and not seeing if these jokes that you're making will land, what kind of transition? How hard is that for you as an actor?
That's the really hard part, to be honest, because also you're there for 14 hours, 15 hours, and you're doing the take 6 times or 4 times or whatever, and then they do another angle and you got to do it 3 more times, and then, you know, so it's like, it's very strange. It's very different. It's hard to be on all the time, like throughout the whole day. So that was the hardest part. And honestly, like when people laugh, like with improv, when people laughed and stuff, that's what like fueled me to keep going. It got me in the headspace, I guess. So it is really difficult to stay in the headspace all day long but I find that sometimes I just watch interviews with Robin Williams or like Jim Carrey, and I just get inspired. I'm like, oh, sweet. So that's kind of what I do. Or I bring my computer and I kind of watch like funny movies like The Office or something, you know. So that kind of helps me get in headspaces. But,
well, it seemed to pay off. I mean, you've had a great year, and there's you know, award attention not only around you, but obviously around the show as well. And you alluded to earlier when you guys have been on an unprecedented run for the CW in terms of Jane the Virgin. You're on a historic making show. You guys are the most awarded and critically acclaimed show that the network has ever had. Kind of brought it onto the map. In the award sense, you guys have brought it onto the map. How was that going to the Golden Globes last year for you? I mean, that must have been, first of all, just getting the nomination as a whole for a comedy series must have been just awesome on the set, and then actually going with your whole cast.
Yeah, that was insane. I obviously got emotional. And by the way, the carpet is huge. It goes on for miles, I swear. Like, people were taking golf carts down this carpet because, you know, people have heels or someone broke their leg taking a cool photo. I don't know, who knows? But it's so big that you need a golf cart. I did not expect that at all. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, I would, everywhere I looked, I would see an actor that I'd be like, holy crap, it's Paul Rudd, or like, there's Robert Downey Jr. By the way, between me and you and everyone else watching, I actually peed next to Robert Downey Jr.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was pretty cool. And obviously I didn't say anything. I just kept staring forward, and then, but I mean, he could feel my thoughts. I know it. I know he could. Anyway,
is that meditation?
What's that?
It's that meditation that you do.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, I saw like Bill Murray and like Meryl Streep walked by, and it was just insanity. It was insanity. Oh, and I waved at Kevin Spacey, and he looked away. I think I creeped him out. But that's, anyway. Yeah,
hey,
it was
all worth it.
Yeah, it was all worth it for sure. But the energy with the cast was insane too. Everyone was just off the wall. It was awesome.
Well, you guys recently had that FYC event for the Emmys about a month and a half ago, I think. Right? What's that?
Yeah, that was that table read thing, right?
Yeah, the table read thing where you guys kind of packed the joint there, and which is great because there was so much reaction last year when Jane, you know, I mean, you guys are an Emmy-nominated show. Anthony Mendez got a really well-deserved Emmy nomination for narrator. But, you know, everything else was shut out, and there was big reaction from critics and you know, award sites and everywhere else. But still, it's like, I was reading this list to Yael yesterday that I'm going to go over with you real quick.
Okay.
It's kind of an embarrassment of riches that Jane has gotten. You guys have gotten now 3 Golden Globe nominations. Gina won, 1 for comedy series, an AFI Program of the Year, 6 Critics' Choice nominations in total, 2 for comedy series, 3 Image Awards, 3 Imagen Awards where they won supporting actress, and comedy series. 2 Online Film Critics Association Awards, including 1 for Rita Moreno. We haven't even gone over guest stars. I mean, the guest stars are
no kidding,
pretty big there. A Peabody Award, which is huge. People's Choice Award winner for new comedy. 2 Satellite Award nominations, 1 for comedy series. 3 Television Critics Association Awards, which are, I mean, they're so selective. It's such a big award for the TCAs are. And you guys got a nomination for Outstanding Achievement in Comedy. Gina got an individual one and Outstanding New Program. And probably the most important, you guys got 3 Gold Derby nominations last year, 1 for comedy series, Gina 1 for Breakthrough, and then she got a nomination for actress. So you guys have
that's sick, man.
All over the map.
I didn't know that there is that many.
Yeah, you guys have had quite a lot, which is all well deserved. So what what is it weird, or not weird, but is it just, do you pinch yourself all the time knowing that you're on a show that is this regarded, this critically hailed, and that is this successful?
Well, yeah, but at the same time, because like I'm there every day and I'm there to work, we almost kind of, I think we all kind of agree in some way on this, or maybe not, but you kind of just go there to work, and then you're kind of in that little bubble, so you don't really know what the outside world is saying unless you get a nomination, and then you're like, holy crap. But you almost feel like you're just in this little box together, and you don't really know much of what's going on. And then when something happens, then you pinch yourself for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's a really strange experience. It's been very, very strange in a great way.
Well, another thing that could be really strange for you is waking up in the beginning of July and being told that you've been nominated for an Emmy Award, which that's what we're kind of here to talk about a bit. If you are nominated for an Emmy in the Outstanding Supporting Actor in a comedy series race, you have to send in one episode of the season that best represents your work for that season. Do you have an episode in mind that you would send over to voters?
Oh man. Is it from the whole show, or is it just this year? Is it
just this year?
Oh, really?
Just this year. Yeah, just second season.
Oh man, I mean, I would. There's been a couple episodes where I've been proud of, like the episode with. I mean, honestly, I really liked the finale. I really liked the finale stuff because I got to breakdance for like 5 seconds, and also the whole wedding stuff. I thought was really, good work. I guess, but I don't know, man. The Britney Spears episode was good too because I got to do a backflip off the wall, and that's also the episode where I punched Raphael in the face and hurt Mateo, and then go to her house and be like, "Oh my God, I hurt Mateo." Like that was a pretty insane episode too. So maybe that one.
Yeah, that's a great one. That was one of the ones that I had in mind. I think that chapter 27, chapter 26, the one before, is really great for you too.
Oh yeah.
And the good thing about what Jenny does is the to be continued at the end. You can actually cheat at the Emmys because if you have a to be continued, a two-parter at the end of your episode, you're able to submit the following episode as well.
Oh, so
those were good. And then the one with your chapter 37, the one where your parents come and they don't approve of Jane, and you have all of that, and then they don't, they make that snip about Mateo, and you let them know about that. Those are some good ones, but you're on the right track.
Oh, cool, man. That's awesome. Thanks for knowing that. That's really cool.
Yeah. So what I had to know that. So
I love it.
I got a few fan questions just to kind of close everything out here. The first one, I want to know, what is the says, are the most fun scenes you have the ones with your bromance with Rogelio?
Those are pretty fun, I gotta say, because I really like that because those are the kind of scenes where I can play a lot of the comedy. Like we both because Michael a lot of the time is always involved in drama, and as always just has crap happening to him. So it's hard to play comedy in those scenes, but the scenes with Rogelio, you can just kind of go all out. There's a whole little world that's been created from Michael and Rogelio, and I feel like Michael can act a certain way, in those scenes more so than with Jane or anyone else. So those I would say are my favorite scenes, I think.
Now, aside from Rogelio and Jane, who would you like to have more scenes with?
I'd like to have more scenes with Yael because I really like working with Yael. I think Petra and Michael have this really strange chemistry, which is funny. And yeah. Or Yvonne. I don't really get to work with Yvonne. I've literally had one scene with her, and she's such a good actor, and I feel like the Yvonne or the Alba and Michael relationship could be something that's pretty cool too, which we haven't explored yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she must have taught you that, or Michael. She must have taught Michael that Spanish thing since he gave her the nod. So
yeah,
it'd be cool to kind of explore. And then, if you weren't Michael yourself on the show, would you be personally Team Michael or Team Raphael?
Let me see here. Oh man, I think I'd be Team Michael. I think I would. Just because the amount of love that character has for this woman. I think that's why. It's because I look at Michael and I'm like, okay, would he ever be dishonest with her at this point after going through what he's went through? No. And would he always be there for her? Yes. And would he always be there for the family? The dad loves him, and the whole family has this really good relationship with this guy, and I feel like that's why I'd be Team Michael. I mean, Raphael's pretty dope too, though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but that's a good answer. Well, I hope Melisandre does make a journey into the show, and if you really are gone, that they bring you back.
Thanks, dude.
And again, good luck on the Emmy nominations that are coming out in a little under 2 months. Hopefully if not you personally, which I hope you do, but if not, the show makes it on there, and Gina and everybody else, because you guys have an amazing cast, an amazing show, a great, you guys had a great second season. It was like almost a 90% on Metacritic.
Oh wow!
And yeah, which is really great. And then a season 3 coming up.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we get to talk to you again soon.
I would love that, man. Thank you so much for calling and being so awesome. And you're good. You're a good interviewer. You've done your research, which is really, really awesome. So I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Rob, thanks a lot.
Awesome. Have a good day.